iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Dr. Roto from Scout Fantasy Sports, and welcome to today's podcast. Glad to have you along with us. So let's take a look at some player news and notes from baseball. And the first bit of news is that 3 guys who all play the same position were signed yesterday. And actually for different prices, which you would imagine. But I want to talk about that for a second. So first of all, the Tampa Bay Rays signed Logan Morrison to a 1-year, $2.5 million contract. I can't stand this signing. Logan Morrison hasn't done anything in 5 years. What has he done? Seriously, what has Logan Morrison done to earn this kind of contract? Are we talking about his potential? He's 29 years old. He had 23 home runs in 2011. Since then, he's had 1 year, of over 450 at-bats. What are we talking about here? We're talking about a guy who's going to hit 235? I mean, seriously. How much does he get? What is he worth? I think this is a waste of money. Now, the Rays don't have a lot of money. I don't know why they're wasting it on Lomo. I mean, is he a good guy on Twitter? Yeah, he's very interesting on Twitter. Why do I bring up Logan Morrison? Because the Yankees signed Chris Carter to 1 year, $3 million. Chris Carter hit 41 home runs last year, had 94 RBIs. Chris Carter would be a much better fit for the Rays, who don't have any power. Don't the Rays need Chris Carter? I mean, seriously, you look at the Tampa Bay Rays, ask yourself this question. Brad Miller, Matt Duffy, Kevin Kiermaier, Kurt Casale? Don't they need Chris Carter? Not Logan Morrison? You're going to pay $2.5 million for Morrison. You're not going to pay $3 million for Carter? And you know what? Why not even $4 million for Carter? Why not even $4 million? The Yankees, as always, seem to make a smart pickup. That's why Brian Cashman is as good as he is. Greg Bird, I don't think Greg Bird is 100% healthy. I don't think the Yankees think he's healthy. So you know what? Chris Carter immediately gets 350 at-bats at terrorizing lefties. Immediately. I think he can find another 100 at-bats. So I think the guy gets about 450 at-bats. If he gets 500 at-bats, write him down for 25 home runs. Just write it in. I think he could be used in many ways as a DH. Matt Holliday could get hurt. Aaron Judge might not be able to hit the ball. A lot of things could be happening there. So I think it gives the Yankees more flexibility. For $3 million, that's a really good deal. Now, interestingly enough, Mike Napoli is signed, 1-year deal, $8.5 million. Now, he had a career year last year. He had 34 home runs, 101 RBIs. But is he worth $5 million more than Chris Carter? Now, if I'm Chris Carter, you know what I'm doing? I'm firing my agent. I'm firing my agent because Mike Napoli just got $5.5 million more than I did, and I had a better year than Mike Napoli did. So that was a little strange for me. It was. But, I mean, hey, good for Mike Napoli. I think he found a good park, a good team. It's a good fit for him. It's an excellent fit for him. I have no problem with it at all. So I think Logan Morrison was bust. That's a bust. That's a dog with fleas right there. I think Chris Carter is a good signing. I think Mike Napoli is a good signing. I think the Rangers overpaid, but I think now they could go trade Jerks and Profar. Somebody will want Profar, and they'll get another arm, and they'll be good to go because they need another arm to go with Cole Hamels and Yu Darvish. Martin Perez should be somebody's 4th starter, not 3rd. Perez is fine as a 4, not as a 3, and I don't want Andrew Cashner anywhere near my rotation. Okay? So now, as we did yesterday, let's take a look at today's podcast. I'm going to break down the Atlanta Braves for you. Catching, we've got Tyler Flowers, and they picked up Kurt Suzuki. Flowers will most likely be the starting catcher. And you know what? He won't kill you. He won't kill you. He'll hit about 10 home runs, hit about 260 or 270. That's what he does. I don't hate him. As a second catcher in a two-catcher league, I think you could do a lot worse than Tyler Flowers. Somebody, sometimes you need guys who are, he's all right. He's all right. Freddie Freeman, though, I'm a big, big fan of Freddie Freeman. I'm waiting for this guy to break through. It's going to come. It's going to come. 1 year, he's going to stay healthy. 1 year, he's going to get 627 at-bats. And 1 year, he's going to go 40 home runs and 110 RBIs. Will it be this year? I don't know, but I know he's capable of it. I know Freddie Freeman is probably the fifth or sixth first baseman out there. And at the end of the year, if he was first, wouldn't shock me. He's got that kind of ability. I don't think he will be, but it wouldn't shock me. I'm a fan. I think you should be too. I think he's a very smart, good player. Second base is a little bit of a mess. So right now they look like they have Jace Peterson, who I'm just not a big fan of. I think we've seen Jace Peterson's best. And let me tell you something, it's not very good. I think where Jace Peterson fits in is as a utility guy. They also have Sean Rodriguez, who they signed. And Sean Rodriguez is that guy who mashes lefties, mashes them. And what I love about Sean Rodriguez, he can play second, he can play short, he can play third, he can play outfield, he can even play first base. He can do pretty much everything except pitch and catch. So I love having him on the bench. So when they're playing a lefty, I don't know where I play Sean Rodriguez, but there's a spot for him. Maybe it's in outfield sitting Nick Markakis. Maybe it's at second base sitting Jace Peterson. I think Sean Rodriguez is a guy who can be used. And I think he's one of those guys who gets no publicity. But look at last year. Last year, he hit 270 with 18 home runs and 56 RBIs and 300 at-bats. Could he not do that this year? Maybe he doesn't hit 18, maybe he hits 15. Maybe he doesn't hit 56 RBIs, maybe he gets you 50. So he goes 250 with 15 and 50. That's not going to kill you, especially in an NL-only league. But the guy you need to watch out for is Ozzie Albies. Man, this guy's going to be good. He is going to be very good. He hits for a nice average. He's got a lot of speed. And he is going to be Atlanta's second baseman of the not-so-distant future. And that future might be about the All-Star break. So if you're in a league that looks for protects and minor leaguers, keep your eyes on Ozzie Albies. Big, big fan. At shortstop, speaking of big fan, I'm a big fan of Dansby Swanson. So let's just talk about this for a second. The Diamondbacks made one of the worst deals ever. I think we will go back and see that this is one of the worst trades in Major League history where the Diamondbacks get Shelby Miller, who is bad for Dansby Swanson, who's going to be a very good hitter. I mean, really, what didn't you like about this guy? Wasn't he the second overall pick in the draft? Or something like that? I mean, this guy's great. So, and here's how you know a guy's good. So I'm sitting next to Ron Chandler at the FSTA draft, and he's taking Dansby Swanson like the 10th or 11th round. He's a buyer. I'm a buyer. I think Dansby Swanson can get us 10 to 15 home runs this year, 10 to 15 stolen bases this year, hit about 285. There's nothing wrong with this guy. You're going to love having him on your team, and you can get him later, right? So if I had to rank some of the guys, if I had to rank some shortstops for you, and let me do that. So I think Machado, Correa, Seager, Bogart, Story, Lindor, VR, Segura, Diaz, Addison, Russell, all go before Dansby Swanson. So Dansby Swanson is probably going to be like the 11th guy available. I think we can live with him at 11. Maybe even Tim Anderson goes before Tulowitzki. It's possible, right? So I think you get a very good deal on Dansby Swanson this year. Adonis Garcia is the third baseman. This guy is, that's the only word I have for him. He's okay. He's going to hit, 270, going to hit like 14, 15 home runs, 50, 60 RBIs, and not be special. It's a weakness. I don't think it gets much better than that. I don't think it's much better than that. The outfield, though, is interesting. I like Matt Kemp, who had a very good last couple of years, very under the radar. I mean, he played in San Diego, but the guy's been over 100 RBIs the last 2 years, right? The guy's been hitting about 265 to 270. He's a solid player. We don't know how this park is going to play out in Atlanta, but I think that Matt Kemp can hit behind Freeman and do a great job. I love Ender Inciarte. He's a table setter. This is a guy who last year I thought was a lock for 25 to 30 stolen bases. I think that he had 29 last year. I think he does it again. I think he can hit close to 300. I think he's a very interesting player, and he's young. He's 26 years old. They signed him to a 5-year, $30 million contract extension. They like him. They got him in the Shelby Miller deal. Can you believe that? They got Swanson and Inciarte? Unreal to me. Seriously. What were you doing, Diamondbacks? Awful. So, Inciarte, you need speed? Take a look. Average speed, you're in a head-to-head league. You need a guy who gets runs, average, and speed. Sign me up for Ender Inciarte. Not going to hit you a lot of home runs, not going to get you a lot of power, but he's going to do the rest. I think another weakness this team has is Nick Markakis. Nick Markakis is the 270 to 280 hitter. He hits about 10 to 12 home runs, maybe 13, 14, and he knocks in about 70 RBIs and scores 70 runs. That's who he is. It's not enough. I think this is a place where we can see some young talent. I wouldn't mind seeing somebody else out there in right field, but I think Nick Markakis is safe. You know exactly how to project him out. There's something to that for fantasy owners. All right, the bullpen is going to start out with Jim Johnson as the closer. Do not invest heavily in Jim Johnson. He's a soft tossing closer. Not a big fan at all. He may get some saves, but really not a big fan. I'm a much bigger fan of Mauricio Cabrera. I think this guy throws very hard. He's got a triple-digit fastball. Now, maybe in the beginning of the year, they don't make him the closer. I think by the end of the year, he is the closer. I like Vizcaíno as well. Now, the starting pitching is interesting. Julio Teheran does not get a lot of love. My friend Brian, the fan addict, absolutely likes him, thinks that Teheran is very underappreciated. And maybe so. He's got a 4-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, only 157 hits in 188 innings. I mean, he's a pretty good pitcher, and he's young. I like Fultonevich as well. This is a guy who Bernie Pleskoff raved about a couple of years ago, and now they're talking about him being the 5th starter there for Atlanta. I like this guy. This guy's getting better and better. Strikeouts to walks, close to 3-to-1. Not bad. He is improving. My problem with the rest of the Braves, though, R.A. Dickey, Bartolo Colon, these guys are stunting the growth of young pitchers. Now, maybe you bring these guys like Whistler and Blair up slowly. I get that. They have a Max Fried. They have Toussaint. They have a lot of young guys. But I just think that Dickey and Bartolo Colon take up space. I mean, he's 42. I mean, what are you expecting from him? Bartolo Colon is 43. I mean, really? And he signs a $12 million contract. Are you kidding me? See, I hate that. I did like the Jaime Garcia signing. That I like, or the trade that was made. I like him. Garcia still, I think, when he's healthy, which is very rarely, guy never throws more than like 150 innings. But when he's healthy, he's a very good pitcher. He's a very good pitcher. So I think they have the elements here with Teheran, Garcia, and Fultonevich. Those three guys are legit. Those three guys are legit. But I don't know about the other two. Keep your eye on Sean Newcomb. He's interesting. Max Fried. Pretty good. He's still a little young, though. Single A. But this guy's going to be a comer. He's going to be a comer. He's going to be good. And I'm looking at Touki Toussaint. Right? He's in single A. They have a lot of guys in single A right now. The Braves have prospects. The Braves have prospects. Oh, I want to look at one other prospect here. See how close he is. Yeah, a lot of guys in low A who are, they're probably 3 years away. I mean, what does R.A. Dickey and Bartolo Colon do? They buy you time. So let's look at undervalued. Swanson, undervalued. Enciarte, undervalued. Tehran, undervalued. Fulton-Nevich, undervalued. Who's overvalued? Nick Markakis, because he's not very good. But I think there's fantasy gold to be had here with the Braves, and let's see how this park plays out. Maybe this park plays as a hitter's park. If it does, that's very exciting for the Braves. If it doesn't, then we got some issues. Then we have some severe issues. But if you don't want issues in fantasy baseball, you know what you need to do? You need to go to scoutfantasy.com. You need to enter the promo code ROTO. That's ROTO. You pay for 1 month. We get you 2 more for free. We get you access to Sean Childs' amazing team outlooks. Right? I'm just giving you the quick hits here. Sean goes in depth. Adam Ronis gives you the articles. Sleepers, busts, overvalued, undervalued. You got Dr. Roto. You got 3 of the top guys in the industry helping get you through a fantasy baseball season. I mean, it's as good as it gets, guys. I always try to surround myself with guys who are really good at what they do. I think Sean and Adam are terrific at what they do. And I believe that we're getting an MLB optimizer this year. For all you daily players, we're going to get an optimizer. So I like what to do. And by the way, our scout forums for our message boards for baseball, SD Chickens, Robbie, Jeff, these guys do a great job. Really good job. I don't want to undervalue what they do. I'm excited about it. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Want to thank you guys for tuning in today. Tomorrow, talk a little Oriole baseball, the Baltimore Orioles, the underappreciated Orioles. I appreciate them. I appreciate Buck Showalter. I think he's one of the top managers in baseball. But we'll talk Orioles baseball tomorrow. But that's it for today, guys. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!